Hey, welcome to the Car Connection Workshop. Today's episode brought to you by City Auto Sales and Leasing, the GTA's premier pre-owned auto store with Earl and Louise Grant, husband and wife team. They are car guys. So if you're in the market for a pre-owned vehicle, you want to be able to buy with confidence and be treated with honesty and integrity, then you're at the right place. City Auto Sales and Leasing. Earl's a fantastic car picker, and they sell no junk there. They have 25 years in the business and lots of resources to find low mileage vehicles at fair prices. And so check in with City Auto Sales and Leasing on the homepage of our website at carconnectionbusinessnetwork.com. So we thank Earl and Louise Grant for bringing today's episode to you. Well, you're now going to have a bird's eye view on the 2007 Toyota FJ Cruiser. It's in for its spring evaluation, and I was already experiencing a problem. I heard a chirping noise, and I did a quick pre-diagnosis because I'd heard that noise previously. I bought this from the original owner. It came from Wolf Island, Ontario, up in Kingston, and it belonged to a lady who's a school principal. She bought it brand spanking new from Kingston Toyota. I bought it off of her with 152,000 kilometers on it. And it's now we're about 55,000 kilometers from 400,000 K. So we're getting close to being part of the 400,000 kilometer or K mile club. So what am I into? Well, what the squeaking noise was down here. If you look, you see a nice shiny thing here now. That's the alternator. And I'm sorry I didn't take a picture of the one that had to go back. I always try and buy alternators and starters, as many pieces as I can buy with a lifetime warranty, because this alternator now is almost $700. And this was lifetime. So keeping your records straight is very beneficial. So if you have to make reference to something it's important. So I'm going to show you that I don't just talk the talk, I walk the walk. Every single vehicle that's even around us, Mr. Green Jeans, Restoration, the Fire Chicken on the other side, all has a folder. Everything is in this folder for every service, every component replaced on it from the time I bought it. I bought it December the 27th, 2013. So I've owned it already 13 years. It's almost actually older than that. Well, no, I've had it 13 years. It's 19 years old. So let them see part of the truck. It does have a boo-boo on the door, driver's door. That's going to get fixed. I have another door. I just haven't gotten to the point where I can unload some cash for some paint work, but I have somebody that may help us out. I'm just going to change the door. We don't know why in the middle of the driver's door a nerdy showed up and we have a hole there. We don't know why, and a lot of the body men that I know and good friends with, they don't know either. They just said whatever's going on, it's inside the door for whatever reason. We don't know. So we're going to change the door, but other than that, it's been just regular maintenance, and that's what we're on here today. This is my third alternator. And what happened was I heard this chirping, and I knew when I was out in town, and I knew as soon as I get back, it's parked until I get in there. And what I discovered was the bottom of the alternator, right down here where my finger is, this whole ear was broken right off. So the alternator was turning from the serpentine belt, because the serpentine belt on this truck is huge. It's huge. You see all this stuff here? That's everything in your way to do the job, such as changing out the alternator, and then you want to make sure you change and check all the pulleys, and we'll get into that in a minute, because I've done this before. This is my third alternator and my second set of pulley bearings, and you need to know these components and this component and the alternator. So when that ear broke, this belt is pulling on that alternator like this. It wants to pull it into all that stuff. So if I'd have kept driving it, it would have snapped this top ear right off here. It was working on it. It would have broke this ear off, and that alternator would have the motor would have sucked it right into everything that's running on the front of this engine, because it doesn't have, this truck does not have electric cooling fans. It has what I love, which is a clutch fan. And so when I changed the alternator, the first time I changed it, I did not do this. And let me tell you, I argued to get it out. It comes out here with everything out of the way, just barely. But it's so much easier. And it gives you also the opportunity to check everything. Make sure that everything's good. Because when if this belt breaks, it's almost 15 feet long. So when a belt breaks, it's still being driven by the engine down here. This is your crankshaft. This belt is wrapped around this pulley, and the engine's running and the belt breaks. It will just be whipping in here, and there's lots of things that are already removed, but lots of things left that it can grab. And I've seen it do $3,000 damage on back in the day on a Ford Taurus. The belts were even longer than this. And when it snapped, it ripped all the hoses off. It smashed the whole rad shroud. It grabbed the neck of the radiator and ripped the whole side of the radiator right out. It was crazy. So while we have this is one of the components you need to check. And how do you determine if it's any good? Well, if you look at this side, you won't see any cracks. So the general rule of thumb is 6 cracks in a 2-inch length, which is about there between my thumbs, and you should change it. There's more to it than that. This looks fine, right? Sure. Most of you would probably just say, nah, it's okay, don't worry about it. Oh yeah? Now let's look at the back. You can see the ribs. If you keep going, you can see lines. You see the lines? What that means is the back of this belt is worn down to the point where you can see the grooves from the back side. So although it's not worn here as much, it's worn on the back side. And how does it get worn on the back side? Well, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, the tensioner. They're smooth-faced pulleys. So the belt is running on the back of 1, 2, 3, 4 pulleys that are smooth-faced pulleys. That's what wears down the rubber from the outside, so it gets thinner. We have a question today? Qu'est-ce que c'est? Oh, good question. Now, when you go shopping for a belt, I like to buy gates. Here you can really see the lines. Look at this. You can really see the lines from this side. That's the impression of the lines against the outside skin. And the other way, is see how you see the cord? And there's sections you don't see cord. And you go along it, and there's a big section you don't see cord. This thing's getting ready to break. And it'll break as soon as you accelerate. The belt wants to, because the engine's torquing up, it does this. And that's when it snaps. So this belt is a number of different prices online. I normally buy Gates hoses, Gates belts, but I'm doing a test. There's a product line that I found online, and I want to try it. And it's called Cobra belt. So I want to try that belt. The Gates belt was like $74 for this. The Cobra belt was half the price. Question?
What is it called without being a product name?
This is a Serpentine drive belt. And most vehicles have one belt drives everything. This is your cooling system on my vehicle and on yours. Because if you don't have a fan, a clutch fan, that's what this is. And it's one of the other reasons I bought the FJ, was it's a very simple vehicle. And this is the clutch fan. Look at how dirty it is. And we're going to talk about that. It's going to be completely clean.
So this rotates. It has silicone in here. So when the engine's cold, the silicone is thick, so the fan locks up and turns. When the silicone gets hot inside there, then it freewheels. You can actually reach in with a glove and grab the blade, and it won't rip your hand off. So you can see all this crud in here. That's all overspray from the corrosion product I have on there. Same with underneath the battery stand. So we'll clean this. All this is going to get cleaned and put back in, so it'll be spotless. So the alternator breaks and totally chews up the safety bracket that goes around the pulley. Done. So this is getting replaced, and that's how you test them. There is a tool for testing the grooves, but as soon as I see the lines through the back, it's done. It's done. You're not putting that back in. I'm not putting it back in. I'm going to definitely tell a customer, you gotta change that up. So we got like this close. If that alternator would have snapped the ear on the top and pulled that alternator in, it would have pulled it right in through here while the engine's running. And I'll tell you what, that would be some serious damage. So when you're in here and you have a serpentine belt like that, we have a tensioner down here, and I've replaced that before. I checked I call it my shop manual. It's actually the folder with all the information in it. The tensioner is fine. It's fine. So it can stay. I don't need to replace it. But I have two idler bearings, idler pulleys that are the same, and then this is a double bearing pulley. This one, it's the different one, and it goes down here. So this one goes here. And it has a bearing on the outside, and it has one on the inside. Outside, inside. And it's done. And you can tell by how it spins. It shouldn't spin. And you can actually hear that. Hear that? That's done. Some guys will say, well, I just pick the seal open and I put grease in. I've done that before, and you know what? Here's the thing. I just explained to you, if that belt breaks, everything gets smashed. If this pulley seizes and snaps that belt, did I save any money by doing that? No, and I'm going to explain it even further. So these are done as well. Same thing. So you can take it off and you can just check it the same way. This one is smooth, but see, it spins really, really free. No good. You could put it back in, but you're going to be back in changing it. So you know what? Don't do it to yourself. It's not worth it. And you'll see in a minute. And this is the other one. That's the race on the back side. These two are exactly the same. This one, I can feel it, and I can feel the bearing. It's crunchy. Can't hear it like that one, but I can feel it in there. It's crunchy. It's not smooth. So it too is done. So here's the deal. I looked up in my folder to see, I know I replaced one, and that was it right there. I replaced that back in 2013. And that cost me $93 for one. For one, just this, one. I found a kit online, and I thought, I'm going to order it. It looked good. And I got it yesterday, and I checked it. And these are really decent. I was really impressed with the thickness of the shell and the bearing. Very happy with that. Very happy with that. So here's the deal. You ready for this? $93 in 2013, just for one. I bought the whole kit for $36. That includes the two and the double bearing, which is this one. It's the heavier one. $36 for this kit. Yeah, I'm very impressed with the quality and the bearings and the seals. Very impressed. I would say not cheesy by any means. They're going to last. So you got to watch what you're doing, and if your technician's working for you like I would,
I spent like 15 minutes researching, and then I thought, you know what? What's the worst thing that can happen? I can send it back if it's no good. So I'm very happy with it. So we're changing all three out. The pulley for the tensioner and the tensioner was changed back in 2013, and it's fine. The spring tension is good. So you'll have to watch the next video, because in the next video it's time to get into the cooling system while I got everything out, and all this will be pressure washed when I'm finished. This is just rust proofing. So here's what's cool. So for the summer I clean it all off and the hood, and it just protects everything. So I will get the truck reapplied completely except for under the hood for the summer, and it'll be paid for. I just roll in, and they know the routine. Just do the engine bay. That's all. They'll spray in here, spray down the sides, spray the hood. And then we do it again the next year. So we've always done that the same, so that everything's nice and clean. There's a cover that goes on here. This will all get, I'll leave this off. I'll power wash and clean. I'll do a pre-clean before I put everything back in. So you have to catch me in the next video. We're going to get into the cooling system, and I'm going to show you what I often talk about, is how important it is when you get into any job that you check everything that's in your path and then some. Even like this little cable here, see how the insulation is coming off? This is a major ground right here. I will take this off and I'll pull the rest of the insulation off of it, and I have liquid insulation. So I will just apply they call it liquid tape for electrical connectors, and I'll close that off so the copper doesn't rot. So I'll clean that, and I'll put a little bit of acid on it to clean it, and then some brake parts cleaner to clean the copper, all the acid off, and then I will coat that with liquid tape. So catch us in the next one. Thanks for stopping by. It's FJ Cruiser time. It's the last one in the door out of the 4 vehicles we keep on the road year round. The Rocket will be back in once this is completely done, because I need the whole shop floor here to paint the front bumper, and I'll bring you into that one too. You can do it yourself, and I'm going to show you how you can do it, as long as you've got patience. When you're doing paint work and prep work and fiberglass, it's all in the prep work. So I'm going to show you how to do it, and you'll be able to do it yourself if you feel like I'll encourage you, give it a shot. What's the worst thing that can happen? You got to take it to someone and let them redo it. But you know what? Sometimes it's like $500 to have that painted. It's going to cost me $40 for a rattle can that's custom made to match perfectly. The cans are made with your paint in it. So we'll see you in the next one. We'll be right into the cooling system. I've got to take some more parts off so I can get the radiator out, and I'm going to show you something you need to know about rust proofing and radiators. So don't go away. Keep it under 100. Happy, healthy motoring. And peace, patience, and kindness always. And don't bite anybody. And grab yourself some Car Connection gear off of our store at carconnectionbusinessnetwork.com. We'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Oh, I almost forgot. Oh, yeah. The weather bell. I know you're enjoying the videos. Don't forget to ring the bell.